Emily was a poor girl who had always faced the hardships of life. Her biggest dream was to one day establish her own charity organization to help the underprivileged, especially children struggling with life's difficulties. A sleek black luxury car stopped near her. Tired and cold, Emily hurriedly got in without checking the license plate, breathing a sigh of relief. "Thank you. You arrived so quickly. I was freezing out there," she said while fastening her seatbelt. The man in the driver's seat looked at her in surprise. Dressed in a finely tailored suit, his sharp features were highlighted by the dim interior lights of the car. He was Alexander King, the CEO of King Enterprises, a man not accustomed to letting strangers into his car. "Excuse me?" he asked, raising an eyebrow. Emily turned her head and noticed the lavish interior. Her heart began to race. "Wait, you're not my Uber driver?" A smirk formed on Alexander's lips. "Not at all. But since you're already here, where do you need to go?" Emily felt embarrassed and reached for the door handle. "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to." Alexander gently said, "Relax. It's late, and it's raining outside. I don't mind dropping you off." Emily hesitated for a moment, but the warmth inside the car was too inviting. Just a few blocks ahead, at the corner of Maple and Fifth. As the car moved forward, Alexander stole glances at the girl sitting beside him. There was something special about her, something genuine, something real. In the business world, where everything was calculated, Emily's simplicity felt oddly refreshing. "So, do you always get into random strangers' cars?" he teased. Emily laughed. "No, but let's just say today wasn't my best day." When they reached her apartment, Emily hesitated before opening the door. "Thank you. Mr. Alexander King," he introduced himself. Emily's eyes widened in shock. "Wait, you're that Alexander King? The billionaire CEO?" Alexander nodded with a small smile. "Wow," Emily shook her head. "Well, thanks for not kicking me out immediately. You're surprisingly kind." With that, she quickly entered her apartment building. The next day, Alexander couldn't stop thinking about Emily. That strange encounter had left an impact on him. Acting on impulse, he found himself at the diner where Emily worked. Through the window, he saw her serving customers, her exhausted yet genuine smile brightening the room. Something stirred inside him. He had always dealt with people who wanted his money, power, or fame. But Emily, she was different. He stepped inside the diner. Emily spotted him and froze. "Mr. King. What are you doing here?" Alexander smiled. "I came for breakfast. And maybe, to know the girl who hijacked my ride last night." Emily chuckled, shaking her head. "So, what would you like?" As she wrote down his order, Alexander realized he hadn't just met an interesting girl, he had met someone who made him feel alive again. A few months later, under the twinkling stars, Alexander proposed to Emily. Tears filled Emily's eyes. "I never imagined I would one day rule the heart of a billionaire." Alexander smiled. "And I never imagined that an ordinary girl would change my entire world." Years later, after their marriage, Alexander and Emily had a son, whom they named Nick. In honor of their son, they expanded their charity organization, calling it the Nick Foundation. The foundation worked tirelessly to help homeless children and struggling families, spreading kindness and hope. This was the dream Emily had always envisioned, a place where those in need could find shelter and support. And so, what started as a simple mistake became a heartwarming tale of love, kindness, and sacrifice.